Hi everyone, good morning. And once again, this is Jyoti Rawat, and I'm proud to say that today we are having a founder of Spintly, and we are going to understand each and everything about this startup company. So let's hear it from Rohin itself. So, Rohin, welcome to the show, The Little Talks from the CEO, and it's episode 7. So, please help us with your introduction and what do your startup do?
Hi, Jyoti. First of all, thanks for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yeah, I'm Rohin Parker, co-founder and CEO of Spintly. We started this company about 4.5 years back. We started this in India, but now we are a global company. Before starting the company, I worked in the industry for almost about 17 years. I started my career as a scientist at Baba Atomic Research Center, and then moved to US in 2005. So I was there for about 12 years in the US, working in the wireless technology space, working with companies like Motorola, Nokia, Broadcom. And in 2017, decided to come back. And along with my friend Malcolm D'Souza, we started the company. And the company is in the space of access control. I'm sure you've used badge at your work to get into your office, right? Like a badge,
Yeah.
and every company issues badges. We are basically digitizing those and moving into your smartphone. So you
Okay.
can just use your smartphone to get in and out of office, right? So we are enabling smartphone-based door access. We believe that in the next, 10 years, badges, keys, everything is going to disappear and they move into smartphone.
Nice. Amazing. So, how did you get this idea that I have to start in this segment itself?
Yeah, so we were always wanting to build something in the wireless space, wireless technology space. So IoT was our domain where me and Malcolm wanted to focus on building something, right? And we had kind of identified that we want to get into building automation space. And while we were, talking to customers, we observed that access control systems are using a lot of wiring, cabling, and they are pretty primitive, right? Although we have smartphones, we use it for payments, we still use these badges for office access.
Right.
Why can't that be digitized, and why can't we use wireless technology to simplify the whole thing?
Right.
So that's how we kind of built some early prototypes, got some early customers to try it out. They liked it, and then just went with it, and now it's a big business for us.
Amazing. So I believe that your target audiences are like those who are into IT infrastructure or say IT department who are handing over all the laptops or PCs to the employee.
Yeah, so our target customer segments are office spaces, co-working spaces,
Hmm.
enterprise customers, and within those companies, our target customer, like a persona, is typically the facility manager or the head of HR or admin, who is responsible for managing people and security of the building itself. Right?
Okay. So you said that it's been almost 4 years you have started this company. So if I talk about the team formation, so what's the current team size you're having?
We are 70 plus people currently. We are spread across Goa is our headquarters where we are
Okay.
have our R&D product development. We
Hmm.
have a Bangalore office which is mainly focused on sales, marketing, business development, and we have an office in US in Sunnyvale, which is also focused on sales for the US market.
Okay,
Yeah.
so definitely if team is growing and from 2 people to 70 people now, you might have faced certain challenges when people are coming together, they come with a different mindset, they come with a different idea. So what was the challenges faced during the initial days?
Yeah, obviously, we started the company in Goa, right? So anybody would think, how do you get talent in Goa? It's not like the Silicon Valley capital of India, like Bangalore. So we did face challenges. We hired people from colleges, and we had to train them initially, right? Because we are a fully vertically integrated company, which means that we do hardware development, we do firmware, we do software, we build the whole thing. Like we build hardware as well. So teaching engineers how to develop PCBs, how to build hardware, mechanical, software development, right? We had to kind of build it ground up. So it was, I think, that challenging thing. But my co-founder is passionate about developing people, right? So nothing is possible without you being passionate about, that. Not just building company. It's company is built by people. So unless you build people, you cannot build a company, right?
Right.
So
All right. So if I talk about the learnings which you have learned from this 4 years, so if you can share it with our audience that what was the great learning you have learned in each of your every phases, anything which you can share right now.
yeah, I think so many things, right? Specifically where we as me and Malcolm with almost 17 years experience before starting a company, you think that you know everything, right? I mean, it's actually dangerous to have a lot of experience because you
Right.
start thinking that we can just do it easily. So I think that's the first learning, that you have to unlearn a lot of things. Actually, if you have experience, you have to kind of go back to like learning new things, like how to build a business, for example,
Right.
right? So, and that was the first learning, that you need to become a student again and start learning new things. Then in startup world, it is very important. There are a few key learnings which you had is you have to be able to uh, first kind of do this MVP kind of methodology, like minimum viable products. Like you can't think that I'm going to build a final product and take it to the market and it will be successful. It is a step-by-step approach. You have to release something, give something to the customer, which then gives you the feedback, and you have to iterate over that, right? And that came from reading startup books. So a lot of founders who are looking at building companies need to start reading these books. There are quite a few. Just to name a few, one of them is called Startup J Curve. Then there is another one called Nail It, Then Scale It. And Lean Startup is probably a Bible, uh, but it's a little bit more exhaustive. But these other two books are pretty simple, easy to understand. Right? Um, I think though, so learning the startup process itself was a learning for me. Third thing maybe is our main learning was you have to kind of believe in yourself and think big, right? You have to be able to think really big, like going to the moon, going to the Mars, that level, right? Only then you can actually hit some milestones. And there is nothing like, okay, I'm from a small village, or I'm from a small country, or I'm in India. How can I think global? You have to kind of break those barriers and start really thinking big. That's when everything starts working. People start believing in you. People back you. Employees back you. And everything just starts working out if you believe in yourself.
Right, definitely. First, you have to have trust in yourself, in your ideas. You have to have trust. Then only you can encourage the other people as well in your team. So that's really a great point you have mentioned here. So if I talk about like there are many people, and especially thanks to Shark Tank who came, like definitely most of the generation of this year, they are actually motivating themselves to have a startup instead of joining a firm. So if you want to encourage those Gen Z, what are the points you are going to give them as a tip that what they should do if they are interested to have their own startup? If you can share a few points, any tips?
Yeah, I think startup is all about. So there is, first of all, there's a confusion between traditional business and a startup, right? Traditional businesses are, hey, I want to start up a restaurant, right? I want to start up some business, right? And that's a good thing. But startup definition is like you're actually building something which is scalable and repeatable. So if you do it in one city or one place, you can scale it globally, and it can become $1 billion company, right? That's kind of a definition of startup. And startups are solving a problem which nobody else is addressing, because either it is tough to solve that problem, right? It needs specific technological elements or whatever is needed, right? Or nobody has observed that it is a problem, right? And you kind of are sensitive to that problem, and hundreds and millions of people are also facing the same problem. So I think so. First, you have to understand: are you solving a big problem? And secondly, once you know that you want to start a company, you have to identify the problem which you're passionate about. Passionate meaning you can't solve any problem. You have to feel passionate. If I solve this problem, it is going to improve my life, or my people around me, life of people around me. And unless you have that passion, you'll not be able to build conviction in what you're doing. Right. So that's very important. So those are few things which you have to this. I think other aspect for before you go jump into startup is you have to realize that it's a tough journey also. It's not, it sounds, when you see the shows, it sounds like, hey, this is great. I just go start a company, meet some investors, they'll give me money, and it's all good, right? Nobody shows the painful journey of successful founders, actually. It's never highlighted. And it's you have to be ready to go through that grind. And it can often be very difficult because you're probably going to put your life saving into it, and you're going to lose all your money. And how you're going to deal with take care of your family during that time. So you have to be ready for that. So you have to be real on what you're doing.
Right. And I felt like most of the people, they are like, jumping onto the funding part instead of starting as a bootstrap. And that's where they are going to do a mistake here, because in the initial time, you have to have your own money in your startup. And then after certain period of time, they have to think about the funding like VCs or angel investor. What is your opinion in that? Should we start with a bootstrap first, or those people who are eagerly waiting that let's get the funding and then we will start the startup? What is your
Yeah, I think
opinion?
it's all about you wanting to solve the problem, right? Uh, it's not about, okay, do I raise money or not raise money? I want to solve this problem. You start working on a plan to solve the problem, right? Now that plan may need you to put 5 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, or 5 crore. Say if the problem is, hey, how do we save humanity of extinction, and how do we, there is a meteorite sometime coming to hit the earth. How do we build a plan to go to the Mars, right? Obviously you cannot bootstrap that idea, right? It's just not possible. So you need money. So it's all about knowing, okay, how big of a problem you're solving. And nobody will give you money until you've proven some level of success, given showing like, okay, I can take a rocket off the ground to say 10 meters, right? Okay, then that means, okay, you have something, you know something about rockets. Let me give you some money, can you take it to moon, and then we can talk about Mars, right? So I think there is some level of proof which is needed. Like that's where MVPs come into picture, minimum viable products, which you build not just to gain customer feedback and validation of your ideas, but also they serve as proofs that you can go and ask for money from investors, and then investors would believe in what you're saying.
What's your goal or for the upcoming year, like for Spintly?
Yeah, so for Spintly, the goal always has been being a global player in the industry. Um, we started the company to change how access control has been done. Um, we want to become a larger player in smart buildings and building automation. All these systems are very primitive. They use a lot of wiring, cabling. There are controllers. Whereas we envision a future which is fully wireless connected devices, right? Connected to the cloud. So that's the future we are looking at, where Spintly will be the pioneer in connected IoT devices for smart buildings, smart spaces, right? And it's a global play. And we see Spintly being counted among one of the uh, leaders in this space globally.
Amazing. So I wish you all the best for your goals, for your upcoming vision and mission of this company. And thank you so much for joining, Rohin. And wish you all the best once again. And we will connect one more time once you reach to the, this quarter goal.
Thanks, Jyoti. It was pleasure talking to you, and yeah, definitely we'll connect to later again sometime this year to see where we have reached since we last spoke, right? It will be great to look back and see what progress we've made.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you so much, Rohin. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye bye.